Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Willie Live. Hope you guys are doing well. All right, let's see here. So also want to say hello and welcome to all of my friends that are joining on YouTube or Facebook. If you have any questions, go ahead and just chat in your questions while I wait for, go ahead, Jody, you have a question? I can't hear you, Jody. Should be able to hear you. Can anybody else hear Jody? No. Michelle, do you mind unmuting yourself for 1 second and just saying hello? I just want to check the audio here.
Hello.
All right, perfect. All right, so it is working on this end. All right, so yeah, you just have to check Jody. I'm not sure what's going on. Or you can go ahead and type in your question if you want. That would probably be the easiest thing to do. All right, while I wait for other questions, just let me let you guys know a couple of housekeeping things. These Wednesday sessions are going to be coming to an end. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'll explain the changes to coaching with my students. But at the end of September, that's when these Ask Willie Live sessions are going to be coming to an end. I also have to let you know that if you are not a subscriber, which obviously if I'm talking to my members, you guys are already subscribers, but if you happen to be watching on YouTube or Facebook and you are not a member of Jazz Edge, the pricing for Jazz Edge will be going up. All right, it is $39 a month right now. It is going to be going up to $49 a month to be in par with all of the content and resources that you have available. I've been taking a look online at, there's no shortage of piano sites now, and I see some piano sites, oh, we got 500 lessons and it's $49 a month. Well, on Jazz Edge, there's 850 lessons, and it's over 840 hours of content. So it's almost double the amount of content, and I'm selling it for less. So I have to get in par with everyone else, especially since, honestly, I think the value is there. I've been doing this for quite a while, and there are so many resources available on the site that it is well worth the price point. All right, so Jody, I've been having an issue. I'm going to be traveling for 10 days, so no piano. Practicing suggestions. That would be a great time to practice. There would be two things that I would suggest practicing. One would be theory, so that might be, whatever theoretical thing you might be struggling with, like, for instance, dominant motion, or 2-5-1 progressions, or tritone substitutions. Any of that kind of stuff would be great to do. The other thing that would be awesome is just take tunes with you. And then if you're traveling for 10 days, and especially if it's like a vacation, I also say, enjoy some time, like, vacation. So don't overburden yourself. But taking, like, say, 3 tunes with you and just trying to memorize the progression and doing the analysis. So a lot of times what I like to do is just like print off 3 sheets, staple them together, fold it up. If I lose it, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? But at least I can have a physical piece of paper with me. And I do that quite often, which I'll I actually have this physical paper with me and just, have it in the car or wherever and just review the tunes just to kind of keep them in my memory or to learn tunes. So that's what I would suggest working on. Ray. If my range of fingers don't meet in some cases all of the notes, may I let one of the outer notes off, and when it is an octave, which one should I leave out? All right, so absolutely. Some of my early lessons, like I'm talking way back in 2008, 2009, I would be playing tenths, and then students would get upset because, well, I can't reach a 10, so, what am I supposed to do? So I started to shift my lessons so that really the largest interval was about an octave. Every now and again, I might have a ninth, but I always in the lesson tell you how to adjust that. So usually it's about an octave. So if you can reach an octave, then you're usually fine. But let's say that it is a lesson in which, you're having, something like this, like a tenth. All right, so first of all, if it's a solo piano situation and this down here, that pinky is playing like the root, then you want to make sure you pull off from the top, not from the bottom, okay? Because if I just played that, now I don't have the root motion of the tune. Whereas if I do that, at least I have the root motion. Remember too, you can always change the voicing too. Like if I was doing this for say a C major 7th chord, okay, well, you know what? If I'm going to take that off, maybe I don't want just the root 5. Maybe instead I play a root 7 or a root 6, something like that. So I could use my chord shelves. But typically, to answer your question, yes, you can always leave off the notes, either off the top or off the bottom. Typically, I say, like, if you have, well, it's kind of hard to see this, but if you have, like, you know, a grand staff, I would usually leave off the top note. All right, I'm sorry, I would not leave off the top note or the bottom note. I would usually leave off notes in the middle, all right? Because the top note is usually your melody, the bottom note is usually your bass motion. So if the bottom notes are like this, the top notes are like this, right? Leave the top note, leave the bottom note, and in these in the middle, you can kind of change those, and these in the middle, you can kind of change those, right? Does that make sense? Kind of a weird visualization. Let's see if there's anything. Okay, I got a couple of questions here on Facebook. Hey, Mark, how you doing? After 4 years of study, remember maybe I changed my life to live my dream of musician at 57. Okay, all right. I now give piano lessons, and I need help to be a better teacher. All right, so I'm not sure if you mean that you want to be teaching or you need help with a better teacher. Quite honestly, you should go to Jazz Edge. If you're an absolute beginner, I say go to Homeschool Piano. But if you have already played, then you should check out Jazz Edge. There is a new site that I am putting together. It's not it's ready, but it's not ready. All right, it's not completely ready for prime time yet. The homepage here has not been updated. But this is Jazz Piano Daily. All right, Jazz Piano Daily. Especially if you're going to be on a budget, is going to be a great resource for you. Right now, it's $5.99 a month. All right, so anyone who gets in now can get in at $5.99 a month. The price will likely go up as we move along, as I add more lessons. Now, what I'm going to be doing on Jazz Piano Daily, for those of you who do not know, I'm putting daily videos up on YouTube right now. And there's a Jazz Piano Daily playlist on my YouTube channel. You can go there, you can watch all of the lessons. The first 45 lessons, you can go to jazzpianodaily.com. You can download those lessons. You can download, I'm sorry, not download the lessons, but you can download the sheet music for those lessons, and you can watch all of those lessons. First 45, right over at Jazz Piano Daily. I did not set up any kind of it stops after 30 days, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it might stop after 30 days, actually, now that I think about it. But anyway, you get the first 45 lessons completely free of charge. So if you're a member of the site, I would definitely suggest going over there. Let's talk about that for one quick second. If you're a member of Jazz Edge or any of my other sites, you might be thinking, hey, wait a second, do I get access to Jazz Piano Daily? No, it is a completely separate site. It is something completely brand new. If that speaks to you, then go ahead and go there and you can subscribe now. Like I said, it's $6 a month. If you get in now at $6 a month, $5.99 a month, that price stays. So as the price goes up, you continue to pay $5.99 a month. And if you have questions on that, you can just write in. Like I said, it's not quite available for prime time yet, but if you are interested in Jazz Piano Daily, I would definitely suggest go to the site, put in your name and your email right there to get this, the 45 days of lessons, all right? And then once you're in the system here, then I'm going to be sending out emails to everyone that's in the system, letting them know that the site is ready for any type of pre-orders, okay? So if you're interested in that, that's another avenue as well, all right? So Jazz Piano Daily is 365 lessons. We are now on lesson 63, all right? Well, soon to be 64. And those lessons come out every day on my YouTube channel, right? So you can find them right on my YouTube channel. You will notice that after day 45, where the sheet music is normally, right here, right? So where I normally put sheet music right in this area, okay, that is blurred out and it says that it's only for members. You can still watch the video, all right, and you can still learn from the lesson, but the sheet music portion of it will be blurred out, all right? All right, let's see. Michelle, in view of playing solo, is practicing with a backing track the only way to improve inner steady tempo? Well, in order to improve your steady beat, all right. So, like we've talked about before, everyone has an inner clock, okay? But that inner clock needs to be developed for music. So you have the idea of like, if I were to ask you, all right, count 1 to 60 and try and make it, be in a time span of a minute. You'll probably get close, maybe 55 seconds, maybe a minute and 5 seconds, but you'll probably get pretty close because we have a general sense of like 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a general sense of what, that amount of time is, okay? And we can stay steady with that because we're used to a clock. We've been practicing with that all of our lives. When it comes to the piano, shifting tempos, 60 beats a minute, 100 beats a minute, 120, like moving around like that, that's where we need either a metronome or a backing track. My suggestion is to do both, right? Both of them are good at different times. If you're just practicing something like scales, chords, like something kind of mundane, then I would say put on a metronome. And that would be, good just practicing your scales with your metronome or arpeggios, stuff like that with a metronome. If you're doing progressions or songs, then obviously that's better to use something like iReal Pro. If you're just practicing chords around and there's no iReal Pro track for it, rather than going and creating your own iReal Pro track, which you can do if you want to, but rather than taking that time, I would simply say, just put your metronome on. It's quick, it's easy, it's right there, all right? So definitely doing both is advantageous. Does that answer your question, Michelle?
Yes, but that is only the practice aspect of getting a regular tempo, I guess. Because what I mean is I would like to play solo, without backing track. The final version must be without backing track.
Oh, okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
go ahead.
will this practice, as you just mentioned, will help me get that regular tempo when playing without backing tracks?
Yes, absolutely. All right. So, in fact, it's really the only path. Okay. So if you want to really kind of learn a steady tempo, a steady beat, and be able to play in time, you really have to practice either with a metronome or a backing track. When I was first starting, there was really no such thing as backing tracks. All right. You had to practice really with a metronome. Then the Jamie Aebersold stuff came out, and to be quite honest with you, as much as I think some of that stuff is really good, it's also kind of bad. Some of the Jamie Aebersold play-alongs, boy, they rush so much on the tempo that by the time you're at the end of the play-along track, it's at a different tempo than where it began, right? It's human nature. That happens with us as musicians. I rush, all of us do. But when you're trying to like learn a steady beat, if you're playing along with a track that's rushing, well, what do you think you're going to learn? You're going to learn to rush as well, right? It's going to be on top of the beat. So really, the metronome is perfect. Now, with technology in the past 10 years or so, now we have these backing tracks like iReal Pro and stuff that are metronomic, meaning that they're completely on the beat, but they have like these fun, play-alongs, Band in a Box, iReal Pro, all of that stuff. So you really need to play along with one or both of those in order to really get your own internal sense of time. Now,
Good.
you and I have been talking about time as well, and remember this is that I know I was going hard on you with My Funny Valentine. Whereas like it's kind of like not quite in time if you're playing with a band. You got to read this. When I say that, I'm talking about when playing with a band. Playing solo, you can do whatever you want. I mean, it would be perfectly fine solo. I mean, solo, if you did that and you kind of added a little bit of time or took away a little bit of time and it's not perfectly in time, no one's going to come up to you and be like, that was out of time, unless it's just egregious, like really bad, like, wow, that's like really a big pause or you're really rushing. But what you were doing would be totally fine for solo piano.
Okay.
But here's the rub. The rub is that that's totally fine for solo piano to kind of play a little bit more fast and loose with the time, But if you think at any point down the road, which you should be thinking this, I might want to play with live musicians again, well, then if you don't have that time down, then you could really get yourself into trouble. And it is such a problem that it's kind of a running joke with professional musicians. I've talked to many a bass player and drummer in which they're talking about playing with solo pianists, solo piano players. Oh yeah, they're a solo piano player. And I know exactly what they mean. It means that the time is like, whoo, all over the place. And trying to follow them is like, yikes. It's like they got to pay attention, like super attention, because the time is not steady and solid. So me as a teacher to you, I encourage you, I never want to hear anyone say about my students, oh yeah, they're a solo piano player, they can't play in time, right? So that's why I recommend to you to like really focus on getting that time down. But if you said, hey, look, I'm just going to be playing by myself. I have zero interest in playing with anyone else, and in fact, I know for a fact I'll never play with anyone else. Then, well, you could do whatever you want, Then at that point, if you want it to be like, it's not quite in time, it's close enough, and someone listening to it would be like, oh, I like that, that sounds nice. But if you play that with professional musicians backing you, they'd be like, no. I mean, they would do it, but you just, in the back of their head, they're like, oh, brother, here we go. It's they wouldn't be happy about it. So, make sense?
Yes, really. Thank you very much.
You got it. Let's see here. Let me come back here. You got it, Mark. Romeric, how practice chordal chords with solo to the right, and can you do videos about chordal improvisations? I've done many videos on chordal improvisations, and all of that is over at Jazz Edge. So if you want to dive into that, just go to jazzedge.com. There's plenty of videos there. So chordals, I'm trying to think of something I can give to you quickly here. There's a great lesson that I did, which was Advanced Chordals. I think it was the name of it. But if you do a search on the site for chordals, you'll come to it. Let's just take C minor. You can do stuff like this, in which you hit a root 5, and then hit the root, the chordals built on the root, chordals built on the 9th, and you can also do chordals built on the 11th, and chordals built on the 5th, right? So built on C, D, F, or G. So you can do that one. That really gives you more of the C minor sound. And in the right hand, mess around with your C minor pentatonic. So there it is in F, root 5, going to the 11th, up to the 5th, playing around with my F minor pentatonic scale. Here, rather than come up here, I might want to go down here, right? Even though I'm not putting the 3rd in there, doesn't matter, I'm getting the 3rd in the right hand. Back to C minor. Chordal sound is real cool, and you can see how you can start to take it out like that. All right, but that's what I would do. I would start with something simple like that. Root 5, chordals in the left hand, built either on the root and 9 or 11 and 5, and then do your C minor pentatonic scale. If you want more than that, then take a look at a jazzedge.com membership. Like I said, if you missed it when I first started, the membership starting October is going to be going up to $49 a month. So if you are interested in getting in now would be the time to get in. All right, let's see here. Bruce, you had a question. The first time I played with other musicians, the drummer gave me a look I'll never forget, and he is my nephew. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was a steer, Willie.
yeah.
Willie, you remember the movie Whiplash?
Yeah, yeah.
It was one of those.
Yeah, yeah. It's and you know what? Even though it's family and it might be friendly, it still doesn't feel good though, right? It still kind of feels like, you know.
No.
So you just that's why you always want to do the work in the woodshed, right? So you want to shed your stuff so that when you go out and you're playing with other people, you put your best foot forward, right? So
That's when I learned, because up to then I was just playing solo, no rhythm tracks,
yeah.
very rarely used a metronome. But after that stare, that's it. That was it.
Yep, and there you go. You can't get better corroborating evidence than that. I mean, you said exactly what I told you that people would do, and
Exactly.
you know it's exactly true. So that's good. Thanks for backing me up on that, Bruce. All right. So anybody else? Any other questions? All right, if there's no more questions, we will end. All right, so I will see. Going once, going twice, 3 times. All right, thank you guys very much. So thanks for joining me today. I will see all of you guys next week for coaching on Tuesday. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you over at Jazz Piano Daily. If you have not signed up over at Jazz Piano Daily, even if you guys are members, you should just go over there, put in your name and email address. That way you'll get the tag in your account, and then you'll be able to access those lessons. I would definitely take a look at that. Download that music for the first 45 days, and then take a look at those first 45 days lessons. As long as it's not going to steer you off course. So some students like kind of like that daily thing in which they're getting something new that they can kind of focus on. But if you're like really kind of like focused and you got your blinders on, then please don't go there, right? I don't want you to go there and lose your focus, right? So if you're looking for something new, then go ahead, check out Jazz Piano Daily. If not, then just keep carrying on with your lessons. All right, take care, guys. I will see you guys. Shortly. All right, take care, guys.